How you doing, everybody? Daniel Mosnet here with Cowboy, and typically we're talking charcoal, but today we're talking wood, and specifically pecan wood or pecan wood. It just depends on where you come from. Cowboy is known far and wide for all of our fantastic lump charcoal and briquettes and all of those great fire and barbecue fuels. But we also are one of the leading suppliers of wood and wood for barbecue. And cooking with natural wood that's kiln dried and cooking over live fire imparts a flavor in your food that's really hard to imitate, and you just can't get anywhere else. So whenever you can, try to cook over natural hardwoods like pecan or hickory or cherry or apple. We've got all of those flavors that you can use, whether you're talking barbecue or today we're talking a pizza oven. Now, what do you think the most popular thing is to make in a pizza oven? That's right, oysters, and I'm sure you guessed that. So today we're cooking oysters, and we've got our pecan wood going. I don't need to add any more. We've got 3 pieces that are burning really hot right now. We started it over a bed of oak and hickory, and they're really putting fantastic flames, because when we open these oysters up, we want to crust the top with some bacon and Parmesan cheese. So that's the kind of the secret sauce that goes into this oyster recipe, and it only takes a few minutes. So if you are going to do pizzas for dinner, this is a great appetizer to get started right before. Take a few minutes, impress your family and friends with a great oyster dish, and then you can run right into your pizzas that in something like this only takes about 3 to 4 minutes per pizza to cook. It's a fabulous way. I prefer cooking with all natural wood and not getting the gas versions of pizza ovens or the pellet versions, because cooking on wood, again, gives you fantastic flavor, something that you just can't get anywhere else. So we've got our 3 pieces of wood that are cooking in there. We've got a nice temperature. We're burning pretty hot right now. We're probably up around 800 to 900 degrees. So we're plenty hot for what we need. We like to make sure we run about 800 degrees for at least an hour. So we make sure that the flat part of the pizza oven gets as hot as we need it to really burn the bottom and cook the bottom of that pizza. So that's good for later. Right now, let's get started with our oysters. So to start this recipe, I like to cook, you can just put your oysters right on a sheet pan if you like. I like to raise them up with a wire rack, because I don't want any of that juice from the oyster to get lodged into my pizza oven, into the stones on the bottom. So I want to make sure that we have a rack on top. And you look at these oysters, they're beautiful. We made sure you just run a brush across. You just want to make sure you get any debris off the oysters, anything that was growing on them out in the ocean. You just want to make sure you just scrub those off just so they look nice and clean, because anything that's on there has the potential to come off when you open the oyster up. Keep them on ice. Make sure that none of them are open. Like that guy is a little bit open, so we're not going to use that one. Nice and closed, and we're just going to arrange them nicely on our sheet. And as many as you can fill. When grilling oysters, I really like to get the largest ones that I can. The smaller ones, they just taste so good. They're better just fresh and just eating them fresh. But for this, we're going to put about 12 or so. 16 maybe, however many we can fit, right on our sheet pan. And we're gonna put these in and just let them cook. We got about 16 oysters there. Once they cook, we're gonna take them off. We're gonna shuck them with our oyster shucker. We're gonna take the top layer off. We're gonna fill them with some really fantastic butter that we made earlier. Put them back in there with a little cheese on the top. Let's see how these cook. All right, so that's the sound that you want to hear. So those oysters are starting to open up, and the juices are falling down onto that pan. Now you got to be careful. It is really hot. It's so hot it bent the pan a little bit. Now what we're going to do, you can see how easily these open once they've been cooked a little. They just pop right open. And we'll take our shucker, and we just want to clean, make sure that that comes right off the top. We're going to put these, arrange these back on the tray. Try not to lose the juice if you can, because that is what tastes really good. And you can see how beautiful these oysters are. We don't really want to mess them up. We don't want to do too much to it. At this point, This is my dad's favorite. He just wants to eat them just like that. He doesn't want to have anything else on it. Just grill that oyster, let it pop open, just like that. And that is his favorite. But we're gonna make these your favorite with a little of this butter. What the wood does when you cook, that fire rolls over the top and the smoke imparts that nice smoky flavor. And that's what I was talking about, just not being able to get anywhere else. That smoky flavor. And that pecan wood, pecan, you know, I keep going back and forth. Sometimes apple's my favorite, sometimes pecan's my favorite. Right now with these types of oysters, pecan is absolutely my favorite. It has a nice, mild, easy smoke. Look at the size of these oysters. They just look fantastic. And it's important that you scrape the bottom muscle off. That way it's a lot easier for your guests to eat them. And if you can, make sure you try to get any little crusty shell pieces out that fall inside. It's easy to get those to fall inside. That's why it's important that you clean them well before you grill them. Okay, so now that we have our oysters all shucked and ready, we're gonna finish it off. And to finish it off, we're gonna take a compound butter. Sounds complicated, but really simple. This butter recipe is a really easy one to recreate. We just softened a little bit of butter, and there's a million different compound butter recipes that you can find on the internet. But with this one, we just softened a little bit of butter, we fried a little bit of bacon, we added some parsley, some garlic, some cilantro, whatever you like, and we're just gonna cut it into pieces, and we're gonna put those pieces right on top. And when that melts, all that flavor is just going right on top of all of those oysters. You don't need much. This is a really rich butter. So if you slice a piece that's a little too big, just cut it in half. You don't want the size of your butter to be bigger than the oyster. And sometimes you do, I guess. Do it how you like it. We're gonna put this back in the grill for just a minute or two till this melts. And top a little bit of it with cheese till that cheese, like in a pizza oven, gets all nice and bubbly and crispy. And when that's done, you know your oysters are ready to go. One more on top. Now, you can easily do this on your grill, on your barbecue, and you can ladle this mixture that's already melted. You can just ladle it right on the top. That's an easy way to do it. I'm just doing it because this pizza oven's kind of fun. Okay, so now you've got your pieces. Try to make sure that they're standing up as much as possible so you capture as much of the butter as you can as it comes out, and we'll top the balance off with cheese. Get a little bit messy, but that's all right. As much as you like. You can just load it up here if you want. Tastes so good, so good. All right, so I think we're set. Let's put this back in the pizza oven. I'm gonna put my glove on because that's a little bit warm. Put this back in the pizza oven, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so now our oysters are done. Look at those. Got a nice char all the way around. We'll take these and we'll put them on our plate. Now I like to take a plate, a platter, put a little salt, some peppercorns. Looks kind of nice. And it also helps to hold the oysters so they don't fall around. These are definitely gonna be too hot to eat right away. You can hear that sizzle. You're gonna wanna let them cool down just a little bit. I can't wait to dig into these. They smell so good. You can smell the cheese, and that's your platter of oysters. We'll leave these for the cook. He's gotta make sure that they taste good. Okay, to top this off, I like to add just a little bit of lemon, fresh lemon right over the top. And then just a little bit of dry white wine, just right over the top. Just a couple drops, you don't need much. And that's it. And you have probably one of the best appetizers that you can make to come out of the pizza oven or barbecue grill or whatever you have at home. One of the easiest appetizers you can make. That's quick, it's simple. You saw it here, it took just a couple of minutes. If you want more great recipes like this, just make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. We've got so many more that you're gonna wanna see. Enjoy. I'm Daniel Mosnet with Cowboy Charcoal, and until next time, keep cooking with Cowboy.